Welcome to Zoe Stories. I woke up in my sister's body, and she won't switch back. I always thought my life was ordinary, boring even, a standard existence that didn't invite the strange or the supernatural. But that was before I woke up in my sister's body, before I realized she had no intention of giving mine back. My name is Ethan. I'm 23, a tech analyst at a mid-sized firm where the dress code is stiff, the office lighting is fluorescent, and the only excitement comes from Friday happy hours I never attend. My life is predictable, a careful routine designed to keep me comfortable and unnoticed. But I have a secret. I've been cross-dressing in private for years. It started small, borrowing a scarf, trying on a little makeup when no one was home. But as time passed, it grew into something I couldn't ignore. There was a thrill in slipping into a dress, a sense of rightness I never felt in my usual jeans and button-ups. I'd never dared to tell anyone, though. Not my friends, not my coworkers, and definitely not Emma, my girlfriend of 2 years. Emma was kind, smart, and effortlessly beautiful, the type of woman who turned heads without trying. But she also had a firm idea of who I was supposed to be. She loved my stability, my reliability. I wasn't sure she'd love the version of me who found comfort in silk and lace. That was why I kept it hidden. I played the part of the perfect boyfriend, the dependable guy who always knew where to take her on dates and never forgot an anniversary. But behind closed doors, I was someone else. Someone softer. Someone freer. And then everything changed. It was supposed to be a normal night. I was at home, alone, in the small apartment Emma and I shared. She had a late shift at the hospital. She was a nurse, which meant unpredictable hours, long nights, and just enough space for me to indulge in my secret without fear of being caught. I'd gone all out that evening. A soft lavender dress that hugged my frame just right. Stockings that glided up my legs, delicate and smooth. My wig, a long, wavy brunette one-eyed style to perfection. Makeup, subtle but transformative, bringing out a face I barely recognized in the best way. I felt beautiful. I stood in front of the mirror, watching my reflection, heart pounding with something between excitement and fear. If only I could live like this all the time. But I couldn't. A sharp knock at the door jolted me back to reality. My stomach lurched. Emma wasn't supposed to be home yet. Panic shot through me. I scrambled, yanking off the wig, fumbling with the zipper of my dress. The knocking grew more urgent. Ethan, open up. My blood ran cold. That wasn't Emma. It was my sister, Claire. She wasn't supposed to be here. She lived 2 hours away, had a busy life of her own, and rarely visited unannounced. I had no idea why she was here now, but I didn't have time to think. I tore off the dress, shoved it under the bed, and pulled on a hoodie. My hands were shaking as I rushed to the door, barely checking my reflection before opening it. Claire stepped in without waiting for an invitation, her sharp eyes scanning the room. My heart was still racing, my face flushed. Could she tell? Could she see the remnants of my transformation? "What are you doing here?" I asked, voice tight. She sighed, running a hand through her shoulder-length blonde hair. "Nice to see you too, Ethan." I swallowed hard. "It's late." "I know." Her tone shifted, suddenly serious. "I need your help." That was the moment everything started to unravel. The moment my ordinary, carefully managed life slipped through my fingers. Because by the time morning came, I wouldn't be Ethan anymore. The air between Claire and me was heavy with tension. She stood in my apartment, arms crossed, looking around like she was searching for something. My heart pounded as I discreetly kicked my discarded wig further under the couch. "You need my help?" I asked, forcing my voice to stay steady. "With what?" Claire hesitated, then sighed. "It's complicated." I watched her closely. She looked exhausted, her usually sharp green eyes dimmed with fatigue, her posture tense. Something was wrong, but I couldn't shake my own panic. Had she seen anything? Had she noticed the faint traces of eyeliner I hadn't wiped off completely? She glanced toward my bedroom door. My stomach lurched. Can I stay here tonight?" she asked finally. I blinked. That was unexpected. Claire never asked for favors, let alone a place to crash. But if she stayed, that meant no dressing up. No moments of stolen self-expression. Still, I couldn't exactly say no. Yeah, sure, I muttered. You okay? She forced a smile.
Yeah.
Just tired. I nodded, but something felt off. I couldn't have imagined how much worse things would get by morning. I woke up feeling wrong. It wasn't the kind of groggy confusion that came with oversleeping or a bad dream. No, this was different. My limbs felt strange. Lighter. My breathing was shallower, my body smaller. Panic gripped me before my eyes even opened. Something was wrong. I shot up in bed, and the moment I did, everything crashed down on me. Long, blonde hair tumbled over my shoulders, brushing against my bare skin. My vision was different, clearer, sharper, like I was looking through someone else's eyes. I felt a weight on my chest, the unmistakable sensation of curves where there had been none before. I gasped. The voice that came out wasn't mine. It was Claire's. I scrambled out of bed, nearly tripping over my own feet, my balance off in a way that made no sense. Her hands, flew to my face. My heart pounded in my ears as I stumbled toward the mirror. And then I saw her.
Me.
Claire. The breath left my lungs. My reflection wasn't mine. It was my sister's. Her face. Her body. I staggered back, slamming into the dresser. This wasn't possible. I turned, expecting to see myself in bed, as if this were some out-of-body nightmare. But the bed was empty. My real body was gone. I gripped the edges of the dresser, my mind racing. This had to be a dream, a hallucination, some kind of breakdown. And then, my phone buzzed on the nightstand. I lunged for it, nearly dropping it with unfamiliar hands. The screen lit up with a message from an unknown number. Don't freak out. Meet me at the park in an hour. No name. No explanation. But I knew who it was.
Claire.
My first instinct was to run. To do something, anything to wake up from this nightmare. But no matter how many times I blinked, the reflection in the mirror stayed the same. I was trapped in my sister's body. I had no choice but to get dressed. The closet was full of Claire's clothes, which only made my stomach twist further. It felt intrusive, violating even to touch them. I wasn't supposed to be her. I grabbed the first thing I could, a pair of jeans and a fitted t-shirt, but as soon as I pulled them on, I winced. Everything was off. The way the fabric clung to curves I wasn't used to. The unfamiliar weight of a chest that moved with every breath. I glanced at the dresser, my eyes landing on Claire's makeup bag. A cold shiver ran down my spine. I needed to blend in. If I walked outside looking uncomfortable, someone would notice. Taking a deep breath, I sat in front of the mirror and reached for the makeup brush with trembling hands. The process was familiar but alien. I'd done this before on myself, in secret. But this wasn't my face. The foundation glided over skin that wasn't mine, the mascara brushing lashes that felt too long. By the time I was done, Claire stared back at me, perfectly put together. It wasn't me. It was never me. And yet, for the first time, I wasn't crossdressing. I was simply existing like this. The thought sent a chill through me. I shoved my feet into a pair of sneakers and grabbed the keys. I needed answers. The park was empty when I arrived. The morning air was crisp, the world feeling too normal for what I was going through. And then I saw her.
Me.
My body, my actual body, was sitting on a bench, dressed in one of my hoodies and jeans. The sight made my stomach flip. Claire, inside my body, looked up when she saw me. She smirked. Hey, Ethan. I stared at her, a million emotions warring inside me. What the hell is going on? She stretched, rolling my shoulders like she was getting comfortable. Relax. It's temporary. Temporary. I let out a shaky breath.
How?
She shrugged. Let's just say I know people. That wasn't an answer. I stepped closer, lowering my voice. Switch us back.
Now.
Claire leaned back on the bench, studying me. You don't get it, do you? I clenched my fists. What?
She smirked.
You've been living a double life for years. Hiding who you are. Well, congrats. Now you get to see what it's like to live without that choice. A chill ran down my spine. What are you talking about? I demanded. She stood up, my height towering over me in a way that made me feel small. You always wanted to know what it felt like to be a girl, right? To really be one.
My throat went dry.
I figured I'd do you a favor, she said, winking. A wave of nausea hit me. Claire, this isn't funny. You can't just. I can, she cut in. And I have. I'm living your life now. And you? Her smirk widened. You're gonna see what it's really like. I stumbled back.
No.
No, this isn't happening. Better get used to it, she said breezily, walking away. Panic gripped me. I reached out, trying to grab her arm, my arm. Wait. She turned, her expression softening, just for a moment. Enjoy it, Ethan. You might find out you like it more than you think. And then she was gone. I stood there, my heart hammering, trapped in my sister's body with no way out. And for the first time, I had no idea who I really was anymore. I stood frozen in the middle of the park, my heart racing as Claire, inside my body, vanished down the sidewalk. This wasn't happening. This couldn't be happening. But every time I moved, every time I felt the unfamiliar weight of my body, the wrongness of it all screamed back at me. This wasn't just crossdressing. This wasn't something I could wipe away with makeup remover or shove under the bed when I was done. I was trapped. Claire had stolen my life, and she had no intention of giving it back. I had nowhere to go, nowhere to run. The only thing I could do was return to Claire's apartment and pray she didn't destroy my life before I found a way to fix this. Walking in her body was wrong. The way my hips swayed, the unfamiliar tightness of my jeans, the sensation of my long hair brushing against my skin, it was all too much. And yet, I had to act normal. Every person I passed could see me. They didn't know I was an imposter, but that didn't stop the paranoia from creeping in. I got back to her apartment, shut the door, and collapsed against it. My legs felt weak. My chest rose and fell with uneven breaths. I couldn't do this. I needed to switch back. I pulled out my phone and called myself. The moment it rang, I felt a sliver of hope. Maybe Claire would pick up. Maybe this was all some twisted test, and she'd end it now.
But the call went to voicemail.
I clenched my fists. Damn it. I tried texting her. We need to talk.
Now.
The message was delivered.
Read.
But she didn't reply. A chill ran down my spine. She wasn't going to switch back. At least, not anytime soon. Hours passed in a blur. I barely moved from the couch, my mind racing through every possibility. Then my phone buzzed. I grabbed it instantly. Claire?
No. Emma.
My stomach twisted. She'd texted. Hey, Claire. Are you free? I need to talk. I stared at the message, my breath caught in my throat.
Emma.
My girlfriend. She was reaching out to my sister.
To me.
My hands shook as I typed back. As Claire, what's up? Emma, it's about Ethan. He's been acting weird. The blood drained from my face. I gripped the phone tighter. Of course, Claire was acting weird. She wasn't me. I hesitated, then forced myself to respond. As Claire, weird how? Emma took a moment to reply. Emma, I don't know. He's different. The way he texts, the way he talks. It's small things, but I can feel it. Something's wrong. My heartbeat thundered. Emma knew me too well. Claire might be able to look like me, but she couldn't be me. Not completely. I had to fix this before she ruined everything. I typed back. Maybe he's just stressed? I'll check in on him. Emma replied almost instantly. Emma, let me know what he says. I swallowed hard. If Emma kept pushing, she might discover the truth. And if she did, what would she think? Would she believe me? Or would she think I was insane? I needed a plan. But before I could think, a knock at the door made me jump. I tensed. No one was supposed to be here. Slowly, I got up and approached the door. Who is it? Silence. Then, Claire? Open up. My blood went cold. It was Emma. I stared at the door, my pulse pounding. Emma was right here. And I wasn't me. She knocked again, firmer this time. Claire? I know you're home. I had two choices. I could ignore her and hope she left. Or I could face her. If I didn't let her in, she'd suspect something. But if I did, could I pull this off? I took a deep breath and opened the door. Emma stood there, arms crossed, eyes sharp. The moment she saw me, her expression softened. Hey. I forced a small smile. Hey. She stepped inside without waiting for an invitation. Sorry for dropping by unannounced, but I really needed to talk. I nodded, shutting the door behind her.
Sure.
What's going on? She sighed, running a hand through her dark brown hair. It's Ethan. I stiffened. What about him? Emma hesitated. I don't know. He's different. Like, I can't put my finger on it, but something's off. And I keep thinking, what if? She bit her lip. I swallowed hard. What if what? Emma looked me dead in the eye. What if he's hiding something? My stomach dropped. Emma knew. Or, at least, she was close to knowing. I had to play this carefully. I forced a casual shrug. You really think so? Maybe he's just tired. Emma sighed. Maybe. But it's more than that. I feel like I'm losing him. The words cut deep. I wanted to scream, "You're not losing me. I'm right here." But I couldn't. Instead, I forced a small laugh. You're overthinking. Trust me. Emma studied me. For a terrifying moment, I thought she saw through me.
But then she nodded, sighing.
Maybe you're right. I let out a breath I didn't realize I was holding. Then, Emma's eyes flicked toward Claire's vanity. The blood drained from my face. Sitting there in plain sight was the wig I had worn last night. My wig. Emma frowned. Hey, isn't that yours? Panic slammed into me. I had seconds to react. Everything happened at once. Emma stepped toward the vanity. I lunged to block her view. Too late. Her eyes landed on the wig. Her brows knitted together. Why do you have this? I opened my mouth, but no words came out. She looked at me. Really looked at me. The silence stretched. Then, in a slow, careful voice, she said, Ethan? I froze. My heart pounded so loud I could barely hear. She knew. Somehow, in that moment, she knew. Emma took a step back. Oh my God. Her voice was barely above a whisper. I panicked. Emma, wait.
But she was already backing away.
She shook her head, eyes wide with shock. Tell me I'm wrong. I wanted to. I needed to. But I couldn't. Tears burned at the edges of my vision. My whole body shook. Emma took one last look at me, then turned and ran. The door slammed behind her. I stood there, breathless, shaking, my world falling apart. She was going to tell Claire. And if Claire knew, she'd never let me switch back. I was trapped. For good. I stood frozen. My breath caught in my throat. The door slammed shut. Emma was gone. For a long moment, I couldn't move. My whole body felt numb, like I wasn't even inside it anymore, which, considering the circumstances, felt painfully ironic. I wasn't Ethan. Not anymore. Not in this body. Claire had stolen my life, and now Emma, my Emma, had figured it out. And she was running. Running straight to Claire. Straight to the person who had no intention of ever switching us back. Panic shot through me like ice in my veins. I had to stop her. A race against time. I bolted for the door, yanking it open so fast it nearly hit the wall. My bare feet hit the cold apartment hallway as I sprinted after Emma, heart pounding. She was already at the stairs, moving fast. Too fast. Emma, wait. My voice cracked. It wasn't my voice. It was Claire's.
She didn't stop.
Didn't even look back. She was going to find Ethan, my body, my stolen identity. And when she did, Claire would lie. She'd manipulate her. Twist the truth. And I'd never get my life back. Emma, please. I nearly tripped as I reached the stairs, gripping the railing for balance. You don't understand. She whirled around at that, eyes blazing. I don't understand? She let out a sharp, bitter laugh. Oh, I think I understand perfectly. I swallowed hard. Emma, No, her voice was like a whip, cutting through the air. Don't. Just don't. I stepped closer. You have to listen to me. Listen to you? She looked me up and down, eyes filled with something between horror and betrayal. Who even are you? My chest tightened. It's me. Emma shook her head, backing away.
No.
No, you're not him. I wanted to scream.
To beg.
To make her believe me. But then, a new voice shattered the moment. What's going on? I turned. My stomach dropped.
Claire.
Standing at the entrance of the hallway. In my body. She was perfectly composed, arms crossed, lips curled into a look of mild confusion. Like this was all just some silly misunderstanding. Like she hadn't stolen everything from me. Emma spun toward her. Ethan, her voice hitched. Tell me what's happening. I watched as Claire's lips curled into the perfect expression of concern. Oh no, she murmured, stepping forward, stepping toward Emma. Did my sister do something?
No. No, no, no.
Emma turned back to me. Suspicion clouded her features. Emma hesitated, doubt creeping in. Claire smirked. Just for a second. Just long enough for me to see. She was playing her. She was winning. I had to act. Emma, she's lying. I shot forward, but Claire grabbed Emma's arm first. Shh, she murmured, low and soothing. I know she can be unstable, but I didn't think she'd go this far. Emma stiffened. My blood turned to ice. She wasn't just lying. She was framing me. Claire's eyes met mine, and I saw the silent warning in them. Back off. Stay in your place, or I'll ruin you even more. Emma looked between us, eyes narrowing. Wait. For a second, just a second, I saw hesitation flicker across her face. She didn't know who to believe. She didn't know who I really was. And then, Claire whispered something in her ear. Emma's expression changed. The uncertainty vanished, replaced with something cold. Something final. She stepped away from me. Emma chose Claire. Chose the body that looked like me. And just like that, I lost her. My vision blurred. Claire gave me one last smirk before wrapping an arm around Emma. Protective. Comforting. As if she was the real Ethan, shielding my girlfriend from some delusional stranger. Emma didn't even look at me. Didn't say another word. She just turned and walked away with her. With my body. With my life. I stood there, shaking, the world closing in around me. I had nothing left. No way to prove the truth. No one to believe me. Claire had won. Unless…
No.
I clenched my fists. This wasn't over. I wasn't going to let her take everything from me. Somehow, someway, I would get my life back. I just didn't know how yet. I need your help. What would you do if you woke up in someone else's body, someone who refused to switch back? Do you think Emma will ever realize the truth? And most importantly, let me know in the comments. Because this story isn't over. Not yet. Thank you for joining us on another captivating journey through Zoe's stories. Remember to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a tale. Until next time, keep exploring, keep imagining, and keep believing in the magic of storytelling. See you in the next chapter.